Fellow Africans, how are you? Mutlatsi Sibego here, greeting you as I drive around the beautiful Republic of South Africa, right at the tip of the continent of Africa. I'm in Johannesburg. I'm driving during this COVID-19, having been relaxed by President Cyril Ramaphosa's announcement last night. In the first of the next month, we shall be going to level 3. And we hope that the business world will then begin to function such that we'll be able to save more jobs, and we shall be able to have business also functioning so that starvation can at least be alleviated. There's a thought that came to my mind while I drive here, and that is that African leaders need to come to a point where they come together in their thinking and have a concerted effort in everything that they do. There needs to be a uniform in how African leaders deal with the West and in how African leaders look after their own. Look at what is happening right now in Rwanda. President Kagame is taking care of his people so well, building that particular nation and making it a city, a place that is going to be comfortable for Africans in the future, with Kigali being the safest city in Africa presently. It is quite commendable what he has done and what he has achieved thus far. I also need to commend Dr. Arikana for speaking out against how the West has exploited Africans, and encouraging a lot of Africans, both in the continent and in the diaspora, to be involved in the development of Africa, in making sure that black business in Africa is given an opportunity to thrive without depending on the West, and that we are able to trade with each other within the continent and not necessarily within our countries, that we should not treat each other as foreigners in one continent, but as fellow citizens of the continent, and be in a position to trade with each other and work with each other so that we grow together as fellow Africans. Now, I must also state that I'm very disappointed in how some of our African leaders have found it very easy to be bribed by foreign countries like China, like the Western countries, so that they come back to Africa and exploit Africa again. It really annoys me to think that in 2020 you still have leaders who still think like that they're willing to sell their own continent and their own people for a dime. They're thinking about the present and never about the future. They are worried about their stomachs in the present tense. They are not concerned about what Africa will look like in the next 50 years, in the next 100 years, in the next 500 years. Because all the choices and decisions leaders take today will have a bearing effect on what Africa will look like 500 years from now. And so we've got to think about our children, our posterity, in everything that we do. And it is not just our leaders. It is a responsibility of every single citizen of the continent of Africa. How we trade, how we relate with each other, choices we make, decisions we make, all of these will have an impact on what Africa will look like in the future. And so I want to encourage you, all of you, my fellow Africans, let us think futuristically. Let us behave futuristically. Let us consider the future in all the efforts of today, and not think only about the lifestyle that we want to enjoy, but think about the children and the grandchildren, the great-grandchildren, and the future of the entire continent going forward. What Africa do we want, say, in year 2090? These are the thoughts and the transactions of the mind that we need to entertain as Africans if we're to build our continent. Unfortunately, I'm driving. I cannot speak any further. Let's speak again some other time, my friends. Mutlatsi Sibego here, signing out. Take care. Bye-bye.